December 17, 1950. 4 F-86 Sabre jets knife through the icy skies of North Korea. It is one of the first combat missions for the new swept-wing fighter. The stakes could not be higher.
Before the F-86s came on, we're flying straight-wing F-80s. Good airplane, good flying qualities, but no match for the MiG-15s. The MiG-15s came on the scene, we were putting bombers over the north, and they were getting chewed up. We had to get air superiority, and the F-86 was the aircraft to do that for us.
Lieutenant Colonel Bruce Hinton leads the mission. The North Koreans are unaware that the Americans are fielding new aircraft, and Hinton plans to keep it that way.
We were cruising at a low airspeed to imitate F-80s, to entice the MiG to show up and combat us.
There's a saying in fighter aviation and dogfighting, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So luring the enemy up for a fight, creating deception is all legal, and it's all encouraged, and it's anything you can do to get them going.
In a matter of minutes, the enemy Air Force takes the bait. Hinton's wingman calls out bogies crossing the Yalu River at 9 o'clock and closing fast. 4 gleaming MiG-15s bore into the attack. The fastest dogfight of the new jet age is about to kick off. December 17, 1950. Sabre pilot Bruce Hinton keeps his cool. He's got enemy MiGs approaching his flight at breakneck speed, but he wants to lure them in close before he strikes.
All we knew is we had to attack first. If they got on our tails, we'd have trouble. One thing you don't want to have is a MiG-15 on your tail. At all. Ever.
Ground control orders the MiG pilots to get a closer look at the American fighters before they engage. As they pass beneath the 4 Sabres, the North Koreans catch sight of the swept-wing design.
And to the MiG's chagrin, here's his airplanes sitting there that were every bit as high performance as they were. The MiG itself was actually slightly slower than the F-86.
The American trap is sprung.
Well, upon sighting the MiGs as they were crossing underneath us, I called drop tanks now, and we all drop our external tanks. At that point, I turned to maneuver.
Breaking right, Hinton firewalls the throttle.
We had to pick up speed from what we were cruising at. I had to pour in the coal to get the airplane moving. So we had to pick up speed and pick up maybe to 0.85 or something like that.
Hinton's flight noses down and swings in on the enemy's 5 o'clock, closing fast. The lightweight MiG can outclimb the Sabre and boasts harder-hitting cannon. The Sabre has a slight edge in top speed, and its heavier airframe allows it to approach Mach 1 in a dive.
They both had strengths and weaknesses relative to one another that tended to cancel each other out. At jet speeds, suddenly everybody is butting up against the sonic barrier. And at about Mach 0.94 or thereabouts, everybody's capable of doing the same speed. So what did that do? That took us back into the turning arena.
The MiG flight splits defensively. Hinton's targets, the MiG leader and his wingman, break left.
They commit a cardinal error. They reverse their turn. So Hinton slides right in for a guns kill. Now here's a very capable and qualified gunnery pilot.
Hinton's airspeed indicates 0.95 Mach, the knife edge of the speed of sound. He selects his target.
Well, I picked the lead guy as the man I ought to attack. But then as I maneuvered, I said I'm going to get on the closest one.
At about 1,500 feet, he pulls the trigger.
I could see the hits bouncing off his airplane, or at least reflecting off his airplane. But he didn't do anything. He just stayed there, and so I kept firing.
The North Korean pilot frantically pops his speed brakes.
At that point, the bogey does a second incredible error, and that's to try to slow down, maybe to spit him out, maybe to make him overshoot the turn.
I had to slow down to stay on his tail. I didn't want to get ahead of him.
Hinton almost overshoots him, comes directly underneath the belly of the aircraft, 5 feet from him. So he can look up and see the rivets, and he's just hanging in there.
The desperate MiG driver wings over and dives, hoping the American will turn him loose. No such luck.
I followed him, and I let him have a long burst. And that's a lot of 50 caliber slugs. Well, at that point, he looked like he was really out of control.
The MiG plummets into the snow-covered ground below. The rest of the MiGs use their climbing speed advantage to bug out of the fight.
They just firewall the throttle and soon climbed, and the F-86s couldn't keep up with them.
Hinton has drawn first blood for the F-86 Sabre. Within weeks, air superiority over North Korea again belongs to the Allies.